Buongiorno, everyone. Welcome back to the Magpie Channel podcast. We're here in the green room at Anarchy because there's currently stuff going on in the brewery, setting up for a little music rehearsal festival, something or another. Anyways, we're here, still here. As you can see the logo above us. We shout out Anarchy as usual. Remember, you can hit the link in the description. Get yourselves some war beer. But more news on that in next week's episode. Exciting, different plans ahead.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're here. Good to see you, Keg, after your absentees last week.
Yeah.
How was that? What were you doing last week? Tell the audience.
Which one?
Wednesday, when you made the podcast.
Yeah, I just Johnny Rick just went to a concert at the City Hall.
Ooh, little concert, is
It's
it?
lovely. Yeah,
Concert for the boys.
Got a little bit too messy, to be fair. Wednesday night, it wasn't a good idea.
Oh, it always does with Geordie Rick.
It does. I just
Bad influence.
can't help himself. Like, I booked the Thursday off because I think he did it first, and I was like, it's a good idea. I'll follow suit. I'll take the Thursday off now. What a good idea that was, because there's just no need to Wednesday night. It was silly. It was unnecessary, but yeah, had a good time.
Good stuff. That's all I like to hear. If you just can tell, if you're watching visually and you're not listening to this back or whatever, looks like somebody's called it sun today, doesn't it?
It's not me.
It's not you. I like a bit red there in this light. Got good natural lighting in this room, but I am a bit red. It just came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere. The red. Look
I
at
didn't even notice.
same colour as me drink.
Fucking Copperberg face, how are you?
And I've got the record like the day.
I recorded like
Real strawberry and lime summer vibes. But I applied the sun cream now. But I tell you what, the Geordie Rays have been strong the day. They well and truly have. Shout out everyone that's in the comments already. Miss Magpie Evening, Ian, all the regulars are in there. Good to see you all. And I think there's only one place to start, which is James Trafford. Ian's commenting there about 40 million for Trafford. Last time he was in the Premier League, he got bullied. I did a video on this a couple of hours ago on James Trafford because it was a Mail article that came out saying that talks are stolen. The deal is way off because Burnley want 40 million
of course they do.
British pounds for him. So thoughts on that one there, Keggington?
Not surprising, I've got to be honest. Like, you can kind of foresee this. Now it's ever easy when you're Newcastle. Like, why can't we just fucking put a bid in there? Like, I sound signed, sealed, delivered. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, it's just never that easy. It's so annoying. Yeah, Trafford's been a bit of a long-term target, and it seemed like he was going to be one of our number one priorities in this window. Yeah, all the early buzz that we're talking to him are interested. The price is about 30 million. We're happy to we were trying to negotiate the 30 million, weren't we? So there was negotiations ongoing. That was like the latest news. And then all of a sudden today, the 140, not 30. It's like, it's fucking Mark Gahey all over again.
It is.
Like,
Summer saga.
It is going to be an ongoing summer saga. It's going to go down on deadline day. It's going to be 11 o'clock at night. Will it, won't it? Then probably not.
Nah, not happen.
So just be stuck with fucking Mark Gillespie next season again. Yeah, I mean, I did expect it because obviously he is a good player and he was amazing for Burnley last year. He was pivotal in them getting promoted and winning the league as well. Did they win the league? No, they were second, weren't they? Leeds won.
Can't remember.
I'm sure should have done a bit more research. I'm sure Leeds
both got over 100 points.
Yeah, I'm sure Leeds won and Burnley came second. It was very close, but anyway,
You got the Golden Glove, I know that.
he helped them get promoted.
29 clean sheets.
He
I
had
tell you
that
that much.
streak where he had like 12 in a row or something.
Aye.
He went on a mad streak. Like, he's a very, very good goalkeeper. Double penalty save against Sunderland.
Already a good lad in my eyes.
He is. He's a class act, and I can get why Burnley don't want to sell him. And it's for the same reasons why we would outprice anyone if they were coming in for like Isaac, for example. Like, they're gonna put the bid up, the price up to try and like outbid you, like get you like a big like separation in between like the valuation, just to try and either put people off or just ride the price up and just be awkward with it. So I think it'll get done.
Yeah.
I reckon we'll sign him this season, this summer. Whatever the price, we might have to go above 30. I think we'll maybe looking at, I don't know, say 25 plus a few million add-ons, maybe rising to 30. I think that's maybe where they would have been looking to try and get a deal done. But now that's going to have to go up, and we're not going to pay 40. I don't think. I think we'll pay 32, 33 with maybe 5 million add-ons or something like that.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. I think that's what will eventually happen if we do keep on trying to get him, which it sounds like we will. The article said that, there was hopes that there could be a resolution met at some point over the summer, but it is likely to drag on. Talks that Burnley might need to do business at the end of the month, so the price might drop then.
Yeah. I mean, Yeah, as long as someone doesn't pip with, that's my bother.
Man United linked to him now.
And like it's always
they'll pay 40 million either.
Guarantee Man United or Chelsea will definitely come in. Maybe West Ham as well because they love nicking players that we're linked with and all.
Chelsea,
they're your three main candidates.
Chelsea did. Chelsea Oranges as well.
Man United, Chelsea, West Ham. Like as long as one of them fuckers don't come in and nick them from us, then yeah. As long as it gets done, I don't want an ongoing saga. But if we can get it done, maybe it's at the end of this month or sometime in July. As long as we get the deal done and it doesn't drag on all the way until August, then whatever, it's fine. But yeah, the sooner we can kind of get that agreement done, the better. So, like I say, them kind of teams don't come in and pinch them from one.
Anybody else that Newcastle should look at in the keeper department then if you're not going to get Trafford? Because Kelleher was a bit of a bargain that we missed out on for me. Like
we were saying that last year. But I thought the price would be more for him, to be fair. It was a bit of a bargain. Like
it is a bargain.
So yeah, we could have been looking at him, but is he the player that we wanted? Like, I don't know. Like, obviously, the hierarchy look at specific types of players, characters, and they know what they want. So if Kelleher didn't like kind of fit that mold, then fair enough. And that's always going to be the awkward thing about saying who you want, who we're going to get. Like, like Eddie Howe's very, very particular, and he's not just going to sign anyone. So we need to kind of get inside Eddie Howe's head and think how he's thinking to think, all right, has he got the right character first and foremost? What's he like in the dressing room as much as he is on the pitch? Like, what's he like in training? What's his mentality like? Is he a hard worker? Is he going to run for miles? Is he going to press? They're all things that Eddie Howe looks at. Like, I don't care if you can score from 30 yards out. Like, that means now to Eddie Howe. Like, look at like a player like Sir Maximin. Got all the skills in the book. But if you don't work hard, you don't press, you don't run, your attitude stinks, you're late for training, no good. So, yeah, it's a tricky one, but yeah, I don't know. What are you saying?
I think Kelleher would have been a really good shout. I think we've missed a trick on that one if you're not willing to pay 35, 40 for Trafford. But again, is he like a massive improvement? I think the thing that obviously Howe likes with Trafford is the potential.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He wants to work with these players. He wants to coach them development like he has done with your Halls, your Tinos and that. So there's that as well. But if you're just looking for a goalkeeper to come in and improve the team straight off and for the next 2-3 years, then Kepa just went to Arsenal for 5 million. You know, he had a great season at Bournemouth. And I said this earlier, he's a bit dodgy though. He's got the mistake in him. He's a bit rash.
Yeah.
But for 5 million, he was the most expensive keeper in the world a couple of years ago.
It's like 70 million.
Mental. So you could have got him. Obviously, that Mike Magnan, who Chelsea were trying to get, he's only going to be about 15 million. There's talks of that French keeper that people are asking for here, Chevalier. Obviously, we missed out on Garcia, who's went to Barcelona now. So there's other options there, like, because we have to be careful.
Probably with Mamadashvili last summer as well.
I know. And this is what I was saying earlier. Mamadashvili was only 30.
Nah.
So asking 40 for Trafford's a bit. Yeah, is that English tax on it?
Oh, yeah, it is, I suppose. Yeah, like, and they're in the Premier League. Like, no disrespect to Burnley, although Burnley.
He loves Burnley.
Like, it would have been so beneficial if they didn't get promoted. Like, if they were still in the Championship, he would just want to go. He'd probably put in a transfer request. He'd be like, nah, fuck this, I'm off. I'm getting the Premier League. And they wouldn't be asking for 30 million, like 20 maybe. And we would have just slapped that up. And he'd be like, all right, anyways, whatever you want to sound, we'll have that. But yeah, with them now being in the Premier League, I don't want to call them rivals because, I mean, we're going to be fighting at opposite ends of the table, surely.
Hope so.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Let's be doing my Champions League push. Scotty Parker.
But yeah, like, yeah, the price is always going to be a bit of an asking fee, a bit of a push. But yeah, I don't know where else you could look in the world. Like, and I think it's kind of like the same as Gahey. Like, we've identified him. We're going to push for him. Like, we're like very specific types of players, and we haven't got a list of like 10 players, and my first 3 go and like, so we'll get number 4. And if 4 doesn't work, we'll get number 5.
Yeah.
Like, we identify very, very specific players, and if they don't go, then it's kind of like either like them or no one.
One on out, innit?
Yeah.
That's the way it looks like. It was out with Gay last summer.
Oh, well, them shorts doing.
Well, them shorts doing. It's getting hot in this screen.
I don't want to see no brain.
Is that me? Is it sunbathing? Yeah, getting hot now, right? Oh,
leather couch probably doesn't happen.
Leather couch, 25 degrees outside. Got a glass window in front of him. His face is bright red. Class, just like. Can we get like a terrace built for the summer and a little outdoor area? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Build a terrace, please. Podcast terrorist, that would be nice. There we go then. People are saying there it's called poor scouting. That would haven't got backups. What do you make of that? Shout out Evermore.
I disagree because I like the fact that they're very, very particular, but it always is like that kind of whole like it's either them or no one kind of situation. It's like, well, we cannot really just sign no one. Like, we've got the
Massimo centre back.
Like, our squad's very, very shallow, and we've got Champions League coming up again. And like, what happened 2 years ago? Our squad was so shallow. It was ridiculous.
Cannot do that again.
Suffers. Like, you cannot do that again. So, yeah, while like I like you've identified people, you've obviously scouted intensely and identified that this person will definitely help our team. But if you can't get them, you need to scout others. You need to like make sure that is like backup plans. Like instead of just being like, no, we'll not sign anyone. It's like a bit of like a schoolboy, you know. It's like chucking your toys at the pram. Like, well, if I can't get him, I'm not getting anyone. Like, I can't really do that. Really.
If we're not going to McDonald's drive-through, I'm not having fish fingers in the fridge. Not having it. Not having freezer food. Yeah, chicken nuggets, happy meal, and out. Starve myself. We'll see. Will Newcastle starve themselves this summer? Bloody hope. I want to fill up this summer.
Starving.
Yeah. Want more sunburn and beers? Thank you very much. That's what we want. What else we got then, Keg? What was on the old topics as well?
The agenda.
What's on the agenda there? New director of football.
Director of football links.
Will this make any difference to how quickly we sign players, or is it just a role being filled and then Eddie Howe is very much in control now? I would suggest that Howe is the man behind transfers now, because if you look at the players that are getting linked, it's the players that we've been trying to sign for 2 years. Trafford was trying to sign last summer. Gahey would try to sign the summer before that. Elanga would try to sign on deadline day. Jacob Ramsey would try to sign 2 Januaries ago. So all these players that are getting linked, Eddie Howe's like, well, we haven't signed them yet. I said it was him or not.
Still available.
If I want a midfield, I want Ramsey, I want no one. If I want to send up, I want Gahey, I want no one. And as the list goes on, so how much influential will the new director of football be when he is appointed, when maybe Mitchell leaves at the end of the month? Or I don't know, because I feel like obviously the reason Mitchell's left is definitely not seeing eye to eye with Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
Got Steve Nixon there, who's done a great job of scouting, to be fair.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just a backroom thing, because I don't think we'll appoint a new director of football and then you'll start seeing loads of signings through the door.
Well, it didn't happen last year, did it?
No, I mean, we're all bigging up Paul Mitchell's bloody CV and the experience he's got and the notebook of unreal players he's signed, and then we got absolutely anyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, with last year, you just said, like, oh, well, the new director of football, is that what we're waiting for a flurry of signings? Like, that's what we're waiting for last year, and it didn't happen, did it? So I'm not expecting miracles, yeah? I think maybe just take your time with this. Like, don't rush into us. Like, make sure you identify the right person. But yeah, like, I think because Eddie Howe's so particular, like, just let him do the job. I think he's more than capable of it. It's going back to this like discussion that we had a couple of weeks ago about managers. And like how they don't exist anymore, and how like Fergie and Wenger were like the last 2 great managers, whereas everyone's a head coach now. Like Eddie Howe's just asked to train the players and pick the team, make the subs. That's pretty much it. Like no
school.
Yeah, like no one does what like Fergie and Wenger did, and like they're proper, like they're involved with every little aspect of the club, like scouting, like the negotiations, like identifying people who you want, and like proper like getting stuck in with every little aspect of the club. Whereas that doesn't really happen anymore. That's why like directors of football and stuff are so involved these days, and I think owners take a big part of it as well. So yeah, like I think just let Eddie Howe have the reins, like at least for maybe just this year, and see how it goes. And if he does a good job, if we're able to get these kind of deals done, obviously someone's gonna have to be that middleman, like a chief negotiator kind of thing. Be like responsible of the purse. Maybe you're gonna need to have that person. So maybe if you can hire someone to kind of be that middleman and the chief negotiator, along with Eddie Howe and Tyndall and all them involved. Darren Eales will probably get involved still as well. So yeah, I think just leave the sporting direct. Like I don't think it's a massive necessity right now.
Nah.
Like give Eddie Howe maybe this summer in January, see how we do, and if things aren't quite working out, like from February onwards, think like, right, when by the time next season comes around, maybe we should hire a director of football because negotiations didn't quite work out, or we didn't quite get the signings that we wanted. Maybe we need someone a bit more like specialist to kind of get involved, and then start the process again and try and like find the right person without rushing into things. So yeah, I'd say just let Eddie Howe crack on for now and just see how it goes.
I think it's more important to get a CEO in to replace Darren Eales, who's bloody still waiting the poor bloke there. You know what I mean? He's got a serious illness there, and he cannot leave his role yet. Anyone else has came in for him. Respect to him for continuing to graft, but I think it's more important that we replace him and he can go spend time with his family and recovering that, hopefully, rather than bringing a director of football where he's probably not going to get a see anyway. Mitchell didn't, so
true.
Yeah, so wait and see on that one. But there's a few names linked there. Yourself, Wilson.
Big Wilson.
Wilson's been linked there. The Southampton.
Ross Wilson.
He was at Southampton, and then he's had a couple of years' experience and stuff. Haven't heard or seen too much of him.
He's been at Forest,
he's at Forest at the minute since 2023 at Southampton and stuff previously before that. So on him, I don't know too much about him. To be fair, I remember we did a discussion last year on the podcast when reeling off all these big important names, Mitchell being one of them, because he was so highly thought of. Friedman, who obviously turned with Darren Palace, was a nice, interesting one. But with Wilson, you've got him, you've got Ato from Arsenal, who was assistant sporting director or something there at the Gunners. He's only 40-year-old. I don't think he's quite up to what you want. It just depends on what the role is now, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Mitchell was meant to come in and like spearhead recruitment and all that, and it clearly didn't work out. So it's more like a back. There was the other bloke that was linked last week, one of the Real Madrid one, and he was influential in building their stadium and growing them as a global brand. I mean, that's kind of Silverstone's role with the Adidas deals and stuff. But someone that's probably more suited for Newcastle now. If you're going to allow Eddie in that to do their job and bring in players they want, and you're probably looking at someone just to come in and infrastructure, commercial side of things, keep growing as a club.
Yeah, and that is another big part of the takeover. We're 4 years deep now, but still there's a long way to go because there was a lot of work to be done, and we are still nowhere near any kind of end product from what the takeover plans were, like the mission statement, things like that. It's going to be a good 10, 15, maybe 20-year plan to undo all the bollocks that Mike Ashley done. We were left rotten when Mike Ashley took over. Do you think it's only going to take 3-4 years to get that sorted? Hell no. And we've had setbacks and stuff with Staveley and then Ashworth, and now with Mitchell and Eales. It's just been loads of unforeseen setbacks. So we're just kind of starting again. So that's probably just adding time on to this project. We need solid people to be in charge. At least Silverstone's been here almost since day one. He hasn't moved. He's been a bit of a stalwart. But it's just quite annoying losing people and then having to start again. Find these new people. When a new CEO, a new director of football. It's just frustrating.
So we have a third director of football, won't we? After Ashworth and then Mitchell. That's nuts, man.
We never had one before then. It was basically that fucking Wally, what was he called? Charlie doing absolutely nout, getting paid a wage for bugger all. I could have done his
shaving his head, wasn't he? That's what he was doing, shaving his head, eating pies.
It's just absolutely rinsing Gillette. But so that was a key because it's a modern thing. A lot of big clubs have these director of footballs, and we never did. So we thought, we need to get on the terms with the rest of the world and be up to date and get a director of football. That doesn't really fucking work there, is it?
Nah. Going back the old school, man. People are saying, bring back Staveley.
Wait, if should come.
Uh-huh.
That's not really up to us.
Give her a call, man. Can't let her know.
Oh, hey, Mandy, get back, man. It would be nice. Because I think she obviously still is invested. I don't think she loves the club. But I think she left for a reason as well. And yeah, I don't know. We'll keep out with that one.
More directors than Hollywood. Love out there.
Fucking Spielberg's in here.
Spielberg's and everything, yeah.
And Tarantino.
Hi, Quentin Tarantino, new director of football. Make it happen. Let's move on. Then what we got? What was next on that one?
Cordero.
Oh yes. So I don't know what we're whinging about, right? All this complaining. We haven't signed anyone.
Identifying.
Saying the next Lamine Yamal man.
Right.
Even though he's older than him. Spanish wonder kid, the real Spanish wonder kid. You forget Yamal's head trees in that. Yeah.
Less of that.
Fernando Torres back in the day. We've got Antonio Cordero. Woo. Meant to be a good strip out on loan.
Aye, definitely.
Class. Is that the right move then, Cordero? Would you? Because at the minute I'd be tempted to bloody see him in pre-season. Well, buzzing with him saying the right winger.
Yeah.
Have a look at him. Take my Singapore. Free holiday.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a good idea to keep him around the first team as much as possible. Get him under Eddie Howe's wing, because obviously I think he's at the best club in the world. Well, that's maybe a bit pushy, but one of the best clubs in the world in terms of development with the right manager. Because Eddie Howe, is brilliant at developing young players. So that's why I say he's at one of the best clubs in the world. Like, I absolutely believe that 100%. Like, Eddie Howe is one of the best developers of young players. Not even necessarily young players. Like, look at the job he's done, like Joe Linton, and
Jacob
got
the
best out of like Fabian Schär and people like that. So yeah, he's in a good place. So yeah, I think if he got like a pre-season with her, like got to go to like Singapore and whatnot and get some minutes in the first team, like get to know like his teammates and stuff. But I think a loan move could be good. It's kind of like the old like Ashworth philosophy from like Brighton, where like they like everyone pretty much Ashworth signed at Brighton. They sent out on loan and came back absolute world beaters, like Caicedo and Alexis McAllister and Mitoma. Was it Esputinian, like Cucurella, like they signed absolutely nobodies from absolutely nowhere, sent them out on loan, and they came back and like, who's this? Oh, 100 million, like absolutely class. But like the best example is Minter.
Yeah.
And for the one link that I have seen for Cordero, one team interested that I seen yesterday is Ajax.
Yeah.
And I think that would be an amazing loan deal.
Would be.
Yeah, because they're a huge team. Like PSV were, to be fair, for Minter. And did he not win the league? I'm sure he won the league with PSV with Ten Hag.
No, he did.
Yeah, was it Ten Hag? No, Slot. Or that Baldy. Yeah, he won the league with on a Slot.
Feyenoord.
Was it Feyenoord?
Yeah.
Feyenoord, sorry, yeah. I'm getting mixed up there. So he won the league with Feyenoord on loan with on a Slot. Played Europa League. Done absolutely mint. Had a cracking spell. Came back. We were all thinking, get him in the first team. He's better than Almiron. At the time, we were thinking he's better than Murphy.
We were literally seeing this with him last year.
We literally were. Like, get him in the first team. Start week 1.
Swapped Minter with Cordero.
All right. And what did we sell him for? 40 million?
30 million went around.
Yeah. So he never played a minute for one class loan spell in Holland. 30 million turnaround. Wicked. Obviously, we don't want to sell these guys. We want them to be like what they were like at Brighton. Like we want like McAllister's and Caicedo's, and especially at that time for Brighton, what our rate, but kind of like mid-table. But we've got like proper like Champions League ambition. So Brighton at the time could be deemed like a selling club. We don't need to sell players anymore. Like we want to win titles. We want to win leagues. We will win FA Cups and we want to compete in the Champions League. Like we don't have to be the selling club that we were back in the day. Like we got 6 good months out of Andy Carroll, bang, 30 million for you. And like Kabais and people like that. Like people would just sniff around Newcastle anytime we've got a good player. Better teams would just come and buy them. And you can't really argue, but we're not that team anymore.
No.
So I think Ajax, I looked before, they finished 2nd in the league last year, and that qualifies you for Champions League. So they've got Champions League, and they're one of the big 3 teams. I mean, Ajax should be winning that league, to be fair. I think it's 2 years in a row now that they haven't.
Wow.
I didn't know if it was PSV that won it this year, but yeah, Feyenoord last year, maybe it's PSV this year. So 2 years in a row they haven't won the league, but they should be there or thereabouts. They're one of the top 3 teams in the country. Should be winning that league. They're playing Champions League. So it could be like a proper like Minter situation where he's going to play for one of the top teams in Europe, competing in the Champions League, competing for league titles in that country. I think it could be a mid-move for him. So I'm all in for it. Like if it's a team like that, I'm absolutely buzzing for him, and I kind of hope it happens. But at the same time, yeah, I do think a pre-season here to see what he's about. If he's good enough, if he surprises with him, fuck it, loan. Get him straight in the team.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, utilize him, but then
see what happens.
Get a feel for it. I see what he's like, but it is a solid low move for him. Like you said,
really good move, yeah.
Getting Champions League experience as well. Like obviously he wouldn't be able to come up against us, but the team could. Ajax would control him in the Champions League, and it'd be valuable for him that league. And he's still a young lad. Do you know what I mean? He's still only 18, so looks the part.
It's good, yeah.
Let's see if he kicks on. Let's see though if it is like. I think a lot of what Mitchell was brought in to do was sign these type of players, and then. Get yourself around FFP and PSR. Yeah. You bring in these players for now or for very cheap, like a Minter, like Cordero, end of the contracts. They have 1 or 2 good seasons in Europe, and then you make 20, 30 million for him for now.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what we did with Kelly. Got him on a free, 20 odd million for him.
So on the one side, like you would like to see one of the youngsters that we've brought through actually play and make the first team and actually make an impact.
Definitely.
But if you can sell them for absolutely pure profit, sign them for now, and you can sell them for 30, 35, 40 million in a year or two's time, then I suppose that's a positive finale, really, and it's like you can't really argue with that.
It works either way, like, but it would be nice to see him in a Newcastle shirt. And
that's why I'm good. Like, would never really got a sniff of Minter. Yeah, I was devastated.
Scored a couple of times in St James last season.
He's got a really good record at St James's.
Most of his goals came against us. I think he scored 6 or 7 goals last year. He scored about 2 or 3 against us. Really, a few assists for him as well. Brilliant.
So, yeah, I don't want to see another situation like that, but for FFP and PSR in this modern bollocks world of finances, then it's a plus. If you can sell them for pure profit, or you get a good player for your first team, it's a win-win.
Win-win. What we got next from the El Cadero? We've talked Trafford.
Right wing choices.
Let's get into juicy stuff then. This is it. The main topic of the podcast this week is realistic signings Newcastle United should make this summer. So we've both picked 5 each, I think.
Yeah.
I've picked my 5. If we go through them first, I've totally forgot to have picked, so I will grab it. Is this yours or mine?
Grab it. That's yours.
This one's mine, yeah?
Yeah.
So yours on here, yours. I'll up in your head, are they? I'll up there, make them up. AKA going to make them up as we go along. Right then. Actually, no. Actually, we'll just do this now then. We're going to go on to right wing, but we'll do what I've just said. Realistic signings this window, and we'll get back to that. So, I wrote this morning before the Trafford stuff came out, because I did have him on that list, James Trafford. And nowadays, I still stick by, because I do think that will happen.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
Might be dragged out. Might not happen.
It'll be dragged out.
Might not happen next week. Might not happen next month. But it might happen in August. I think we'll eventually reach an agreement. Yeah. One similar to what we mentioned earlier. 30-odd million plus 5-6 million add-ons with X amount of clean sheets, appearances, England call-ups, all that stuff. And we'll eventually come to an agreement with Burnley for James Trafford. I think that will happen. So I will stick with Trafford because I just think, that's who Eddie Howe wants to. So we're going realistic here. I could go ahead and say, right, I want such and such. I want Rodrigo from Real Madrid or whatever. It's not going to happen. Realistically, Trafford, and what I've just said for what Eddie Howe wants there, and his number one choice, I can see the same thing with centre-back, and I will. Mark Gahey.
Yeah. Like, they'll both be mine as well. I'll do mine alongside yours. Like, I think Trafford and Gahey, because, as I said before, they're both long-term targets, and they've properly been, identified, and we're already chasing them. Obviously, they're going to be sagas. They're not going to be easy negotiations. They're going to be dragged out to bits. Might end up paying slightly over the odds, but this team won't have the eyeballs ripped out. They never have done. People like Mbumo and things like that, they wanted a bit more. So we're like, all right, crack on then. See you later. Best of luck for you. Delap as well. I think because we really have identified them, and Eddie Howe's a fan, we're going to make every conscious effort to make sure that I think them two particularly get done at some point. Sooner rather than later, obviously, but it's never that easy with Newcastle.
No.
Them two, I think, are two of the more realistic ones, because whether they get done or not, that's to be seen. But we're interested, and that Eddie Howe wants them, so that's why I've picked them too as well.
Will it be embarrassing?
Yes.
If we don't get them done. If we go in for Gay again.
Fucking saga on all summer for more fucking Gay once more. I'm going to lose my shit.
Looks like you're.
I am.
And Trafford.
Going to get rid of the knee in a minute.
Double sagas again. I mean, the old Trafford
sagas.
Because if it came out public like it did last year, Newcastle are interested in Gay, everyone gets excited. Oh, they put a bid in for Gay, 50 million or 60 million on there, 65, or Palace 170. We can't be dealing with that again.
Can I get it at an auction?
70,
80, 85, 9,500.
Tyndall's just at the back, fucking. we need to get that done, so. Nah. It would be embarrassing though if you go in for those same targets and you fail two windows in a row.
Get anyone, we don't have a backup plan. We still don't sign another bloody centre back. If we don't sign a centre back this summer,
we're just playing
because we've just been chasing Gahey again 2 years in a row. Nah. That cannot happen.
And we're playing 2 games a week. We're Bale and Shaw. We're both mid-30s. It's a big ask.
Yeah,
but I'm being realistic there. I do think we can get that one done. Trafford and Gahey eventually. No doubt it will drag on. No doubt it'll prove difficult. But I think we can make it happen. So I've went with Trafford and Gahey. This one is... I went for 2. To be fair, I've said realistic, but this is adventurous. You may tell me it's not realistic, Keg, and people may tell me it's not in the chat because it might not be, to be honest. But I wanted this as our marquee signing. Missing out on Mbumo. Well, willing to pay 50-odd million for him, but not the $250,000 a week in wages. 250 grand a week at Man U, man. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, mental.
Exactly. But you pick Man U because you're a bigger club history and all that bollocks.
And you have to take your unpacked lunch in that, but all right.
That's where you get 250 grand a week. Expenses. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Jesus Christ. There's no dinner ladies to feed you the fish fingers on that, like, but never mind.
You bring your own footlongs into work, will you, Brian and Boomer, son? Stop off at somewhere. I went for Jared Bowen.
Oh!
It's a big shout, isn't it?
Big shout.
It's probably not realistic when I think about it. I went against the grain. Realistically, you're just going to see Elanga, and it will be Elanga. Because in that article today, it confirmed that we're still in talks with Forest. Apparently, we've got reps in Nottingham, representatives of the club there speaking to Nottingham Forest about saying Elanga. Obviously, the fees, kind of the sticking point again. Our Forest hold now for about 60 million, something crazy like that. 50, 60 million. That's probably too much. I nearly put Kudos on that list, but I went original with West Ham.
Today, I think Kudos would be
big money as well. He's got 80 million release clause.
Is he?
Who the hell's paying that?
Okay.
Chelsea probably, to be fair, but
True.
not us.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Bourne would be the same price, wouldn't he? They would want probably about 70, 80 million for him.
Yeah.
Maybe 60 because of his age.
What is he?
28 or something.
Yeah, 27 years.
And obviously we know, he's Mr. West Ham, Danny Dyer and Danny Dyer's daughter and all the Dannys and all the Dyers. But he loves West Ham and David Moyes and fucking 28, 29 December. So I just, 13 goals and 8 assists last year for like a relegation battle in West Ham. Amazing stats every year for West Ham. Amazing stats. Clinical. I would love to see him on that right.
He has been their main boy pretty much since signing because we wanted him.
We never seen him
at the time. Like
went for Miggy instead.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, Bowen said on a podcast. Bowen said, "Oh, I was meant to go up to Newcastle," and then they came in for him, and then Newcastle went for Miggy.
It made sense for him to get there. To be fair, because especially at that time, was it still a Rafa? Like Rafa signed Miggy, didn't he? So it must have been like a Rafa signing.
Aye.
Yeah. We're a bit of a shambles at the time. Obviously, Mike Ashley days, and so at that time it probably wasn't a bad move for him. He probably made the right choice. To be fair, give credit to him. Like he probably did make the right choice at the time, and it's worked out for him. Like he's done really, really well. He's been their star boy. Obviously, met Mr. West Ham's daughter, got twins. So he's had a real good time. But now. Yeah, move on. Like West Ham, like he was a star boy during the Conference League win. So you've won a European Cup, cracking. But where's your career going to go now? Like he's in the England squad. He's like pushing it, and his numbers are probably going to like look good. Like the numbers he's put up for the last couple of years. That's going to help him get into the England squad. So does he want to move? But he can play Champions League here. Like this,
you finish mid-tier West Ham again, play Champions League.
20 years, you're not getting any younger. So you could come here and actually compete. Like, where's West Ham's best case scenario league finish next year?
7th.
Yeah,
at a push.
Yeah, and that would be a shit year for us.
Yeah,
we want to push top 4, and we're playing Champions League. We're defending the Carabao Cup title. We want to push on, win FA Cup titles. We've got more kind of ambition than that now. I don't have any hard feelings for him picking West Ham over us last time because he fucking did make the right choice. But
Europa Conference League.
Yeah, now times have changed. Like if you want to progress your career as you're approaching 30, now's the time to make a big move. So, but depending on fee and wages as well. Like if would we offer him more than what West Ham's offering him? Because I reckon he's on a kind of age.
He'd be on a high age because they went through that spell of offering big wages.
Yeah, they did.
And a few others. Kudos will be on a big wage.
Yeah, I don't know if we could
last summer
match his wage or increase it. Because we're not stupid. We're not going to get our pants pulled down. Like we're quite savvy in that, and that's why we lose out on a lot of deals. That everyone's like, we should have signed this person, that person. But they're asking for 900 grand a week. Like we're not stupid. Like if you want that, get somewhere else. Like Delap wanted way more than anyone else should be possibly paid. So crack on, mate.
Aye. I'd love Bowen, but you're right in terms of the fees as well. Like for a 28-year-old, how much are you going to pay the wage? I mean, when people are saying 28, you still get a good 5 years out from there.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying he's
like Murphy and Bain and that now. Like you could easily get another good 3, 4, 5 years out.
No, definitely, yeah. It's not like old. I'm not saying he's like reaching the last stage of his career. Definitely not. But with the fee and stuff, you've got to think at that age. Is it really worth it? Maybe his injuries might start creeping into your game now. You're kind of at that 30 mark. Even 2 years. If we put if we sign for 80 million and we've got 2-3 years out of him, then he just starts becoming injury prone. Bit of a waste of money, really, wasn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what you got to look
It's a bit of a risk, isn't it? Yeah, like you've got to like think about that and wages. If you slap him on 200 grand a week, we're not going to do that.
I'm just thinking like I'm thinking like next season. Imagine Bowen, Isaac, and Gordon. Bowen, Isaac, nice, Bones of Gordon leaves and all that. Yeah, that's dangerous.
It is
one of
really
the best
dangerous.
League,
I am a really big
fantasy
fan
Premier League.
It is
through that in it really, and then the midfield three behind him, and then bringing a centre back, bringing a goalkeeper. It just really takes up level. That like
makes the squad a lot better. Yeah, I would like Bowen, but for this summer, I can't see it unless something really unexpected and dramatic happens. But yeah, the person I've got on my list is Alanga, for the reason that we're already in negotiations with him. Like, we already put the bid in on deadline day last year. So again, he's another one that we've obviously identified and Eddie Howe's a fan of. Like, he's been targeted. We're already in negotiations. We've declared our interest. So he's another one that I think could get done this summer. Realistically, like, I think could and should. We need a right winger. And we've kind of pied off a few potential candidates already, and it reported in the news this week. Some people like Madueke who we were linked with.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we're continuing negotiations with Alanga, we've obviously like kind of narrowed it down that he's the man that we want.
We have.
Yeah. So
try his name on deadline day. We're going for it again.
Yeah. So like Trafford and Gahey, I think he's the next one that we should really be looking to get signed, sealed, and delivered ASAP Rocky.
We'll kind of emerge the right wing best choice in that section now that we're talking about it then, because you went for Alanga, I went ambitious for Bowen. I think Alanga is the realistic shout. Other prominent names there is Semenyo of Bournemouth. You see that link to Spurs though in the last 24 hours.
He's had a few links, hasn't he? Like, I think
Bournemouth wants 70 million for him. 70 to 80 million.
He used to play for Sunderland.
Yeah, stinky there now, and it's terrible there,
isn't it? Yeah.
Eddie Howe really likes him, of course.
He is a player that I like.
So
he is a really good player, and I would like him. I honestly really would. I'm a really, really big fan of him, but not 70 million's worth.
I mean, that's crazy, man. One good season.
Club record fees.
His numbers were that impressive last year. He does.
I think he was alright the year before
like
as well, player. But I think because Bournemouth did have a really good year last year, he probably did look a bit better.
11 goals, 5 assists.
It's solid.
It is really good, to be fair. Not as good as Jacob Murphy, but it is good. I think so.
Not everyone can be the king.
Nah, they can't. Not everyone can be as juicy. Obviously, 25 years old. I didn't realise he was born in London.
Great age.
Yeah, Spurs step up interest in Semenyo. Oh, but Man United also interested in like Man U.
Yeah.
I can just sign everyone.
Man United will pay 100 million and put him on about 400 grand a week.
Bournemouth to demand 65 minimum for Semenyo. Friggin' hell, man.
Pricey, like, nah.
It's way too pricey.
I like him, but nah.
He's like a 30, 40 million pound player, him, man.
Yeah. Like
40 million.
If we could get him for 40, I'd be happy. But 70, jog on.
70 is crazy. I'm just interested to see where Semenyo came from for them and what money they paid for him. Because like you mentioned, Keg, he was obviously...
Was he on loan at Sunderland?
At Sunderland on loan, aye.
Oh, it was Bristol, wasn't it? Bristol City.
£3 million they paid for him. Oh, no, sorry. £10 million. His market value was apparently £3 million. But they paid £10 million in January 23, so they could make a nice hefty profit.
What does that say his current market value is? Should be at the top.
Current market value, 40 million. There we go.
Yeah.
Realistic.
Fine, yeah. Even at a push.
Even then,
to stretch it, if we paid 50, all right, it's a bit pricey, but it's okay. But yeah, like 70 is absolutely ripping the piss.
It is. Another option, Bakayoko from PSV. I really like Bakayoko, me.
Yeah. Big fan.
Obviously, I haven't seen loads. I'm not going to lie and say I was busy week in, week out. But when you've seen him in European action, you've seen clips of him. He scores some screamers. He looks like a dangerous player. Someone that would excite fans. Bums off seats.
Get them off.
Player.
Yeah, he is good.
Like him, and he would. I tell you what, he would be the most realistic cheap option because you're not paying your bloody silly Premier League fees. You're British. You know, you got to look abroad, get some bargains in, make actually specials. You Musa Sissoko's of the world. Yeah. So I think Bakayoko would be one way you look at and be like, maybe for a much cut price, would it be worth a punt?
Yeah, I could have a go at him. There's a name that I'm seeing in the chat there that hasn't come up, but I think we have been linked with him in the past. And I am a very big fan, and he's very, very young and got a bright future ahead of him. Is Tyler Diblin?
Yes. Apparently 50 odd million though, and he's like played 6 good months.
Yeah, he's been injured though. Like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But he's meant to have like a proper, like really like good record though. Like scouts and people that he's worked with in the past like say like he's the real deal. Like I can't remember. I seen like a podcast with someone. I can't remember who it was. But yeah, like someone said like they worked with him or like they were like training with him and they were absolutely like blown when they were blown away. They were saying like
Really?
he's like top the proper thing. Like
25 million market value here according to these, but obviously Southampton won 55 million.
Yeah. What? How old is he? Still
19.
19 now, is he?
Born in 2006. That makes me feel sick.
That's horrendous. Yeah.
England under 21s. He'll obviously be at the Euros maybe this week. The Euros start.
Is he in the squad though?
Tonight, I think.
I don't know if he's fit though because he's been injured, isn't he?
He has. It's a shame from a big shame for Southampton. That didn't help them trying to stay up.
And
if he was a fit man, he would have got relegated. Could have saved them.
Yeah.
Have a look. I was going to talk about this later on, but
big year in the Premier League. Yeah, it would have helped his stock. I'm sure, even if they were still getting battered every week, which I'm sure they still would have, he wouldn't have made that much of a difference. But he would have been able to like showcase his talents in the Premier League and the best league in the world. So yeah, that certainly would have helped him.
I was just going to talk about this later, Keg, because obviously after the shit show of the seniors team, we are moving on to the under 21s now. The tournament starts this week, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. To be fair, I didn't even know when the seniors play, so I've got no idea. You're asking the wrong one there.
You avoided that game last night, did you? Pickles 3 lines.
10 minutes.
That was
really good.
That was actually not bad, to be honest, compared to the previous 80 minutes.
It was, to be fair.
Where we're looking here, Diblin. Nah, he must still be injured. Yeah. Another name that has been linked with Newcastle, though, one of the forwards that's in the England under 21 squad is James McAtee of Man City.
Yes, yeah.
Very interested in him. 20-odd million, so that could be one to go for. Harvey Elliott, I see loads of people in the chat talking about Harvey Elliott wanting him. He's desperate for game time. He might be leaving his beloved Liverpool. Maury Hutchinson, he had a decent player there, isn't he, at Ipswich?
Might be decent, like.
1 year at Arsenal. That Stansfield, was he the one that went for like big money for like a League One player? Wasn't it 10 million or something?
I think it's like 15 or something, guys. Like League One record, that club changed next to Joe Bellingham's name.
Aye, Joe Bellingham's in there.
Joe Bellingham of Borussia Dortmund.
Mad. Archie Gray, Spurs. Another Brighton prodigy there, Jack Hinchelwood.
Yeah.
He'll be worth 100 million next year.
Okay.
And
Jarell Quansah's one that we were linked with last year.
Aye. Our boy Tino. Livermento, he's there. Elliot Anderson, of course.
Who the fuck is Brooke Norton Cuffey?
Genoa. What a weird team to be playing for, Genoa.
Brooke's a weird lad's name, isn't it?
It is, eh? CJ Egan Riley from Burnley. Cresswell's at Toulouse now as well. Charlie Cresswell, any relation to Ryan? And then 3 keepers I've never heard of before. So, there's a couple of names, young English talents there, your Tyler Dibbins, your McAtees, that are also linked to be on that right wing spot. We're getting to... We should we get into Pedro now? We're getting him later. Is he a right winger? More of a 9, isn't he? But he can't play there. Definitely play across the 3, that's why we like him.
I'd have him more as like a 9 or a 10, really. I wouldn't really have him as a winger.
I'll tell you what. We'll leave that for a minute because we'll move on to midfield now. Because we've picked 4 or 5 realistic signings. So we've done goalkeeper, done centre-back, done a right winger. Going to do a striker in a minute, but we'll drop back into midfield. And I've went for this realistic one because we know we're heavily tracking him. We're trying to find him in January, a year or 2 ago. And it's Villa's Jacob Ramsey.
Yeah.
I think this will be when Newcastle do make their real first serious moves for players at the end of the month, right before that PSR deadline, June 30th, like what happened to us last year. So Ramsey is the one we're interested in, 30 million.
Yeah,
Villa can get pure profit.
Villa
are in the mud. It was on Sky Sports today. They are going to need to sell. Ramsey's being identified as one of them because they don't want to lose a big talent. There's like a Morgan Rogers. He's been linked with big clubs, but they want to keep hold of him. But a Ramsey, they can sell him for 30 million. That's pure
profit, like Elliot Anderson.
Pure profit. So Ramsey's my realistic choice there for midfield because that's looking like a likely swap with Joe Willock in terms of Willock maybe going to Fulham or Palace he's in talks with, and then we're replacing him with maybe a Ramsey. Yeah. And obviously Sean Longstaff's linked with Leeds and Burnley and Everton. So Ramsey's my realistic choice there for a midfielder to come in.
Yeah, I only really kind of had 4 as my like 5 realistic targets, but like me kind of 5th option, like me wild card would be Jacob Ramsey but like I didn't quite realize like the struggle that Villa were in. Like I had a feeling that they wouldn't want to sell him, or if they did, that it would cost a lot of money. But yeah, given like the PSR struggles and that need to sell, that we might be able to get him cheaper than expected. Like if he's like 30, 40 million, like it's not a bad deal. Like he's a good player. I'm not sure how comfortable I would be spending that much money on a centre mid though, like knowing how good our midfield is. But if either one of or both of Willock and Longstaff leave, then we're going to need to start beefing up, really, aren't we? We're leaving myself a little bit shallow. We're only really leaving myself with Lewis Miley then. And so, yeah, if that is to happen, like we do need obviously depth, as we mentioned before. Like we're going into a Champions League year, we need as much depth as we can. We've seen last year when Joe Linton was out, like Willock came in and wasn't great. So I think Ramsey's a really good step up. I think he's a very good player. He's obviously had Champions League experience now. Still quite young. So yeah, that 30, 40 million price tag, I think it's a lot, but it's not too off-putting. Like I think I could see that. Like, and especially if it's pure profit for Villa. Obviously, he's one of their homegrown guys, and they'll not want to sell him. But pushed up against the wall, if we're going to offer a big sum like that, then they probably can't really turn it down, really. They're not really in that kind of position.
No, and he's fell out of favour a little bit with Emery. He wasn't starting as many games as previous. He didn't have the best of seasons, to be honest. But before that, he really did well in the previous two campaigns. And they were talking about the fee for Willock's meant to be like 25 million. We're recouping what we paid for him like 5-6 years ago.
Well, we're just saying that McAllister from Liverpool.
Oh, right, aye. Roland McAllister from Liverpool, aye. I'm sure you'll definitely leave the Premier League champions. If you're definitely the Premier League champions, you'll definitely be really, really cheap. So yeah, may as well just sign Bellingham and Al Jude, not Jude. Get Bellingham in.
Get Declan Rice in.
Get Rice in. Modric just for the crack of experience, win the Champions League.
Close you to retirement.
Right, keen on the overlap. Get them in. You know what I mean, Shearer back. Where we're then with that one. Ramsey, yeah, I like it. I don't mind it. And if Longstaff does go, which I think you will, if you can get money for Willock, then you are left with obviously our starting three of Tonali, Bruno, Joe, and then you've got Miley and Ramsey to come in.
And I know we're not probably going to get the world for short Longstaff, but anything that we do get will be pure profit and all because he's an exciting boy. So
talking that we're holding out for 50 million for him. Nice. The 1 year left on his deal, that'll be decent, huh?
Yeah, no.
So if you sell Willock and Longstaff and you get 40 million for the pair of them.
Nice. Yeah.
So you got Ramsey for now.
Yeah.
Sounds alright to me,
and it works quite well for Villa, despite probably not wanting to sell him, but having to.
Yeah. So this is a big shout.
This is a really, really, really big shout.
Is it?
I don't even
unrealistic.
I don't even know what I'm going to do, to be fair, but I'll let you say.
Okay, so my final realistic.
If Bowen was bold. Wait for this one.
This one's right. This is ambition, right? Yeah, this is what I'm going for, right? The reason I've put it because I've put. Insert name here, which I will in a minute. / João Pedro.
We'll get João Pedro.
Apparently, João Pedro is going to cost £70 million. Aye.
Fuck.
That's what Brighton are holding out for, right? That's why now it's happening. Yeah, that's why anyone signed him before the Club World Cup.
I mean, fair enough. Yeah.
So this is where it was coming from: 70 million, or 70 million euros. So with 60 million pounds, maybe 58 million pounds. Gyökeres has a release clause of 68 million, I think it is. But he's fuming at Sporting Lisbon because he had a gentleman's agreement that they would let him go for 58 million if he stayed last year. So he wanted to leave last year. They said, "Oh, please give another season. We'll let you leave for like 50 odd million last year." So lots of clubs coming for you, and big bidding war, and you're getting plenty of options, plenty of money, don't you? And now they're still saying, "No, your release clause is 68, so someone's going to pay it." So they stitched them off for that.
This agreement isn't the same as having like an actual written contract.
No,
especially when there's like millions in it. If it's difference between me and you having an agreement for like a tenner or 20 quid, like if you get the first round in, I'll get the next two in or something like that.
And they never do.
It's not exactly the same, is it? Like it's like it's a written legal contract with an actual figure release clause, and you think a handshake is enough for them to accept nearly like 20 million less? Like, no, that's not the way the world works, mate.
So if you can get Gyökeres for about 68, 70 odd million or whatever, the same fees that are banned about as Pedro, that's why I'm saying let's show some ambition and go for it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Isaac's teammate.
In that sense, it does make sense because I ain't paying 70 million for João Pedro.
No,
I didn't think that was the asking price. So if
you got Semenyo from Bournemouth, he's had a one good season that I can remember of, and then he's gone for that. Spurs are going to be paying 65, 70 million for him. Look what they paid 65 million for Solanke. They paid 50 odd million for Brennan Johnson. So these players are going for massive fees now, man.
Yeah.
40 million for a championship keeper in Trafford. Did he get Jokeres for 68 million? Down for it.
That is a bargain, to be fair. It's like Haaland was only like 50 million because his like buyout clause, wasn't he? So
I'd be going all out for it. I'd be pushing the button. Isak, get him on the blower. Tell him how wicked the tune is.
Yeah.
Get him, Swedish teammate. There you go. Big, bold signing.
In that sense, I do like it, and it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I just don't think he would come here because knowing fine well that his international teammate is our number one, and we don't really play a formation that would suit him.
Time to mix it up. Yeah, Isak on the left. Gordon's going to go out to Liverpool. Isak on the left. Jokeres down the middle. Bone on the right.
You're playing Monopoly.
This is
FIFA with unlimited funds.
Forgot about PSR.
Yeah, like I just think he would want a move where he's going to be the main man, and here he's not going to be. Like Man United is probably the perfect team for him because he's obviously got that relationship with Amorim.
Yeah.
And they're daft enough to pay him mad money, as we've mentioned previously. Like they'll definitely trigger his release clause and then slap him on mad money. They'll give him about 280 grand a week.
Oh, minimum,
So
would you be worried then next season coming up against Man U if they make these signings that they're linked to? Obviously, they've got Cunha.
So that new front three.
They're getting Bumo.
Cunha and Bumo.
They get Jokeres.
It's not a bad
kept Bruno Fernandes midfield.
Yeah.
They're still saying a couple more.
Yeah, it's not a bad front three. But
not a bad front three at all.
Yeah, it's still got a lot of work to do, but it's not a bad start.
No.
I mean, they might score 4 goals a game, but they might still concede 6. But never mind.
They need to replace an honour.
They need a new goalkeeper and about 4 new centre backs,
which they will because they'll just steal Trafford off us. We'll just can't get James Trafford.
James Trafford, Mark Gahey. Again. There's my United transfer list.
Ruben Amorim's came, being battered off Eddie Howe twice this season, home and away, and he's thought, who do they want to sign? Well, sign them instead. We'll make sure.
Yeah, Pedro 70 million is it? Anyways,
we'll make sure they go get them down the drain. Didn't want them coming up. Like what Fergie used to do with Keegan. You know what I mean? Surprised not putting a bid in for Isak.
Where's Andy Cole these days?
Exactly. Signing says Isak, Jokeres, Elanga. Sweden's front three. There we go. There you go. Bring it to tune.
Not bad, eh?
Swedish House Mafia up front for the max. That's what I want. That was a big ball one. Obviously, Pedro's the realistic one again because we're linked with them. Yeah, but you know what it is, Ken? We're picking all these realistic ones, but are one of these or two of these not like smoke screens and we're kind of signing a player which just never been linked with?
Yeah,
like Tonali was never linked.
Say that. Yeah, I think
Isak was never linked.
If them like 5 realistic ones, so we've done like say Trafford, Gahey, Elanga, Ramsey, João Pedro. That's probably quite a realistic transfer list. And they're the 5 that's already been identified as targets, and we might already be in negotiations with them. But yeah, I can say maybe he's getting 2, maybe 3 of them, and they're just being some absolute raj one that we just don't see coming.
Yeah, I do as well. Like when Tonali just popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, I literally because was it Barreca? He was the smoke
Barella.
Barella was the smoke screen. I was like, wow, we'll put a bit in for Barella. Barella's coming to the tuna. So they put like the mock-ups of him in the kit. Like, that's some insight of that. Then next minute it was saying Tonali. Say, what the fuck's going on?
Got the wrong Milan. Wrong midfielder.
Different Italian teammate, but never mind. Either one was like, pretty good.
Exactly.
Paid out quite well. I was fucking buzzing with Tonali.
Oh, I
didn't see that coming in the slightest. So, yeah, I reckon that might be a bit of a wild card out there, definitely.
I think so. I hope so as well. It's exciting when it's a wild card.
It is.
And it's not spoiled by like Romano.
I love that. When you just absolutely don't see coming. Like I hate sagas. I can't be arsed like with another summer of like Trafford and Gahey just going on.
Oh, you're not
and yeah, if we just find like see Sky Sports News, Newcastle are signing X, Y, and Z. Deal's done. Announced in like 4 hours.
Fees agreed, please.
Class.
No sagas. Fees agreed. Player wants it. Club's happy. Class.
Done.
On Pedro though, obviously you just said there now he's not worth 70 million. How much is he worth then?
What did they buy him for?
30.
I was going to say because we had that deal,
which seemed a lot.
Agreed. Romano deal done. Here we go.
Here we go. Bollocks. Got that one wrong.
So I was going to say about 40, but if they paid 30, and he's done all right for them, he scored goals, but I don't know. I don't know what I'd be comfortable paying for him. Like, if they paid 30 like 2 years ago, they're probably going to want about 50. Are you paying 50?
I'd pay about 50, not much more, like.
No, not a lot. Like, if we get him for 40 is a good price. 50, fine. Anything more, pushing it a bit.
You're like, and I don't think they'll accept anything less than that because other other teams are linked with them. Like Chelsea's not, and they will look what they've paid right in the past.
I mean, if they want to do that and spunk all their money down the drain, then crack on. But yeah, I think we're smart on that. We won't be like suckered in by it. Like people think Newcastle's got all this money, so they'll try and like up the price. Whereas teams like Chelsea and Man United are just fucking stupid. They will just blast their money on anyone, and that's why they're in the problems that they're in. Like Chelsea's had an RE, yeah, but they've just got all these players like. You know the talks that we've had of Mudryk over the past few weeks. Like neither one of us can actually remember where he actually is on the planet. Does he still play for Chelsea? Is he on loan? Is he suspended? Did they sell him? Where's Mudryk? Then next thing you know,
I'm Mikhailo.
Like where's Wally? Where's Mudryk? Say next thing you know, Cole Palmer's getting the number 10 shirt. Whose shirt was that? It's fucking Mikhailo Mudryk.
And it's just erased from history.
Is he dead?
He never existed.
Like, did they sign him for like 90 million? Like,
don't lose it.
Where's Mikhailo Mudryk? He's lost his shirt number.
You've got FFP knocking on Stamford Bridge. Like, where's your number 10? He's right, yeah. It's Cole Palmer. Oh, is it? Oh, all right, neighbour. I thought 90. Nah, it doesn't matter.
Like Chelsea's just got all these players that you just don't even know where they are.
Yeah,
they've got so many out on loan. You don't know who's their player, who's not, who's sold, who's on loan. Where's Wally? Like Chelsea's just a mess. Like they signed all these centre backs. Like Tosson's been shite this year. He's someone that chose Chelsea for the glitz and the glamour. Done absolutely fuck all with his time.
Aye, Conference League winner.
Have a day off.
Conference League player of the tournament, I think he got. I think so.
Give our.
Palmer he gave it to Tosson because he played more minutes.
And Disasi was meant to be coming to us. He chose them. He's been out on loan.
Villa, right, stinky.
Oh, like Chelsea's just an absolute mess, man. They're an absolute shambles. And teams like Man United, like they'll just spend money. Like, look what's happened with like Pogba and Lukaku and Anthony and whoever else, like Maguire, like they've spent loads of money. Sancho, they've done absolutely class. Well done.
£325,000 a week or something. Sancho,
mental,
fucking nuts.
So yeah,
the Mudryk thing, it's mad that we still haven't had the resolution of that because we're still waiting for his drug test to come back because. How long is it taking? Why is it? You know, a drug test. You know, like boxers will fail on it overnight. How can't we determine if Mudryk failed or passed the drug test?
I know. It's gonna be like a COVID test, isn't it? Like, surely it's just come up like, you've done drugs.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
you banned, or actually, you know, you're alright. It's the same with the Man City charges, though. We still haven't heard what the crack was in Man City. Do you know what I mean? 115 charges or whatever it is, but now it's happening. Now it's came from it. Crazy stuff. But on Pedro, I think he'd be worth about 50 odd million, but. See if we can negotiate that. I think that's the one where maybe a name will come out of nowhere because, like you say, we're obviously definitely interested in Langa. So there's the right winger. You might move on to, but are you really going to be paying 50, 60, 70 million for Pedro, who's going to be battling with Isaac? Or are you then going to be changing formation? There's rumours that Eddie Howe might change formation next season, might go like 2 10s or someone alongside. You have to because there's no way you buy Pedro for that much, and then Pedro comes here just to sit on the bench.
Yeah, I know.
So it's an interesting one. I think with that one, the Pedro one, couldn't see it, and then you'd get someone else in as that backup striker for Isaac. You know, Munez from Fulham's been linked. I like that link, to be honest. I quite like Munez. Mateta in the chat. I'd love Mateta.
Mateta's a good show, yeah.
Great backup option.
But the thing with another striker is, even if we don't change formation, which personally I can't see because Eddie Howe is a bit of a stickler, apart from that formation that absolutely did not work in the last 3 games of last season. But yeah, like for another striker that's going to come, you're going to have to understand that Alexander Isak's one of the most informed strikers in the world.
Yeah,
like he's banged in 20 plus goals in the last couple of years. He was second leading goal scorer last year. Like, you're not coming in here to be number one, and you have to understand that. But with that being said, you are going to get plenty of minutes. and
every week, to be honest.
And because, like, not just because he's is a little bit injury prone or sometimes, like, tires out towards the end of the game, so you're guaranteed at least, 10 minutes off the bench most weeks. When and if, it's because it's a fucking inevitability that Isak will get injured. There you are. Now you're on number one because Isak's out of the frame.
Yeah.
But also, as we mentioned, we've got the Champions League. So we're going to need loads of rotation. You can play almost every cup game. Anytime that we'll come up against a championship or lower team in the cup, bang, there you go, son, minutes. Like I said, Premier League, every rotation.
Week, 20 minutes off the bench.
Yeah, like with the Champions League, you're going to get minutes, man. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Even if it is like a mad one like Gyökeres, like, I think we had this conversation when we were talking about links with Liam Delap, João Pedro. Everyone that comes in, you are not going to be on number one, but you're going to get number one minutes.
Aye, true.
You're going to get loads of minutes.
Aye, you still are going to get a lot of minutes, especially now with 2 games a week.
Yeah.
But the amount of time Isaac's rested for a week or comes off on 60 minutes, 70 minutes, and you're also going to get plenty of game time. Like, one player that looks like we have snubbed, we're getting this trio that I covered yesterday on the channel, so interested to hear your thoughts on it and whether it was the right choice. Starting off, we spoke about strikers. Dominic Calvert-Lewin was a free. Well, it is a free. Looking that way, Everton are still trying to sign him up, but he looks like he wants a fresh start, a bit of a different club, new challenge type of thing. Calvert-Lewin on a free, is that a good choice to snub him? Or
Aye.
Yeah, I agree. Aye.
I mean, no one else wanted him. We've spoken about him a couple of times, and everyone in the comments has been watching live. I think we spoke about him like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and everyone was like, "Nah, we didn't want him." And like, I could put my pros and cons across. Like, I could say that, yeah, he's an experienced striker, and when he's fit, he's fine. He scores goals. He's tall. He's a target man. He's a danger. But it seems like, seems like we have offered Callum Wilson a new contract. So there's no point having two kind of similar injury-prone type players that are both experienced and good goal scorers when they're fit and in form. They can both score goals. We don't want 2 of them. Like, it's fine. Like, we've got Osula, who may have a loan spell or something, but he's someone who's developing. Maybe he's like changed to be more of a winger.
Yeah.
But if you've got Isaac, João Pedro, for example, and Callum Wilson, why do we need Calvert-Lewin?
Yeah.
We don't need another striker.
No, you don't.
And even if you keep Osula, he's another option. He's like your winger / 3rd, 4th choice striker. Like, we can have 4 really good striking options there without bringing in a bloody Calvert-Lewin.
No, I agree. Jack Grealish?
Yes. Again, we spoke about him a few weeks ago, and I put a lot of pros out, to be fair. I've done a lot of pros and cons. There was a fair few pros, and he's the kind of player that I wouldn't be mad at with signing, like, on a loan. But wages are a big one, and the fact that he's a left winger. We don't need another left winger. We need a right winger. So why would we bring in...
Typical Newcastle, wouldn't it?
It is like,
we'll
have about 6 left. It's like goalkeepers. We've just got loads and loads and loads of goalkeepers and left wingers, but we've got 1 striker and 1 right winger. So yeah, it just doesn't make a lot of sense for many reasons. I think fee's a big one.
Yeah, wages are a big one as well.
With
300 rupees a week.
Absolutely not.
1,000.
Yeah, so yeah, see you later, Jack. Best of luck at wherever it is that you do go.
He's linked with Ten Hag's by Leverkusen. That'd be a good move. That'd be fair.
Pretty good.
I think he should maybe go abroad.
Yeah.
Or you could see him at a Spurs or back to a Villa.
I think Spurs would be good. Yeah.
Villa
would be nice. Yeah, like maybe he's on a loan to Villa. Yeah, a bit of a loan to Villa. Yeah.
Well, Villa have got all these FFP problems.
Yeah, I was going to say, because they haven't got loads of money to be splashing out. So, yeah, loan back to Villa. That'd be nice.
Another one that was linked heavily in Newcastle the last couple of years, to be honest, was Noni Madueke of Chelsea.
Yeah.
And England played last night again.
This is the one that I'm least keen on the snub. I think he should be in the back pocket as an option, as we said. Like, if we don't get Alanga, he's a brilliant option. Like, I don't think we should rule him out. Like, I think I am a big fan. He's more of a right winger. He played left wing the other day for England. He's a talented player, and I am a fan. And he seems to maybe be a little bit out of favour at Chelsea.
Because they're signing with 400 people at the window. That's
fine. True. Yeah, I'd keep tabs on him. Like, if we chase Alanga all summer and we're not going to get a deal done, like, I'd be quite happy for him to be our backup option. Like, so yeah, I'd definitely be keeping tabs on him. So yeah, I'm not thrilled about snubbing him if that is true, if that is the crack. Then yeah, I wouldn't be doing that. Like, I'd definitely be keeping him as an option.
I suppose it is maybe a surprise that he has been, if it is true, like categorically snubbed. I can see why Grealish and Calvert-Lewin have.
Yeah.
Like you said, maybe Madueke would be one in the background where if the Alanga deal kind of get done, if Semenyo with the price is too high, then they might look at Madueke and be like, oh, we'll get him for 35, 40, and England, loads of potential. Yeah, it's one.
I don't think it would cost loads either.
I think it would be about 35, 40.
That's not bad.
Compared to what just
bringing it the England squad, yeah. It's fine, yeah.
Eddie Howe type player as well for sharing it.
Yeah.
Well then, people, that'll do for this week, because I'm not sure if you can hear behind us in the bloody tap room there. It's all kicking off. Bloody Glastonbury in the background now.
Which is why we're in the green room.
Yeah. And we're not going on stage, by the way, thankfully.
Sound check.
But there is an old sound check. Well, mate, do you fancy it?
All right.
Oh, well, we'll do it.
Carry on.
We'll take you as well behind the scenes. Right then, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for listening. As you record us back up on Spotify, Apple, Google, we're available wherever you get your podcasts. We'll hopefully be back in the old top room. It's been alright, to be fair.
It's not bad.
It's been alright. It's a nice little setup. We'll just
Bright.
customize it, nice and bright and stuff, aye. But thanks to everyone that's tuned in. There's still 330 people watching, so make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Nice one, everyone. Enjoy yourself.